Fabulous. All right, so today we're going to talk about a very important topic. How to overcome fear of making mistakes in public speaking. Trying to avoid mistakes is the fastest way to actually become a really nervous public speaker. And that's because most people are not actually scared of public speaking. What they are scared of is freezing or forgetting what to say or sounding stupid. So today what I want to do is to show you how you can completely remove that fear. And it's not by becoming perfect, but it's actually by learning something far more powerful. And that is how to trust yourself, to recover when you do make a mistake. Because the thing is, confident speakers don't make fewer mistakes than mere mortals. What they do is they just don't panic when that mistake happens. And I make mistakes all the time. And it's about how you react to it. And confident public speakers know they can handle it when the mistake happens. So today what I'm going to do is walk you through 5 practical steps that will help you to stop fearing mistakes, to feel calmer when you speak, and how to build real, unshakable confidence. Sound good? All right, let's jump in. Number 1. First up, I invite you to redefine what a mistake really means. Because most people define a mistake as, I failed, it's all gone to pieces. But in public speaking, a mistake is not a failure. A mistake's more like having an improv moment. Because here is the truth. The audience does not know your script. They don't know the sentence that you plan to say. They don't know the bullet point order that you are going to talk in. And they certainly don't know what you practiced in your head before you start your talk. So when we skip words or we change a sentence or we accidentally say something different to what we practiced, as far as everyone else is concerned, you actually didn't mess it up. What we're doing is taking a different path to get to where we plan to go. And I like to think of it a bit like using Google Maps. If you miss a turn, Google Maps recalibrates. It doesn't scream at you, oh my God, you're terrible, pull over, get out of the car and give up. It doesn't do that, right? It just recalculates and gets you back on track. And public speaking is the same. A mistake is really just a recalibration. And when you can redefine mistakes this way, something magical happens in our bodies because our nervous system stops treating mistakes as danger and they become something that's just normal and expected and, more importantly, manageable. So that is step 1. Redefine what a mistake really means and get clarity on it. It's just a recalibration. Step 2. This is really powerful. Practice anchor lines. Now, anchor lines are like preloaded phrases that you memorize to help you get back on track. I think of them like mental handrails. You grab them when you feel a bit wobbly in your talk. So some examples of anchor phrases that you could use are, okay, right, the key point here is, or, so what this really means is, or another one, here's why this matters. Now, anchor lines are like spare tires in your car. You hope you never need them, but knowing that they are there can really help you relax while you're driving. In other words, when you know you have something that's safe to say to help you recover from a mistake, your brain stops catastrophizing the moment. Instead of thinking, what if I go blank? You already know if I do go blank, I'm just going to use my anchor line. So I'll just say, okay, so the key point here is, That's the anchor line that you can come back to. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's a really great way of overcoming that fear of making a mistake. So that is step 2. Step 3, this is probably my favorite one. Most people practice to be perfect. You probably do that yourself with your public speaking. I invite you instead to practice recovering from mistakes. So practice recovery, not perfection. So many people practice like this. I'm going to start my talk. I'm going to go all the way through. I'm not going to stop until I get it perfect. And this is training our minds and our bodies into hoping and praying that nothing ever goes wrong. Instead, practice like this. What will I do when I lose my place? And practice getting disrupted, having your talk stop partway through, and then recovering from that. And here's a really simple recovery sequence to help you with that. Pause. You realize you've gone wrong or you've gone off track. Just stop. Take a breath and use your anchor. So the key point here is pause, breathe, anchor. That's a really powerful sequence that will help you recover. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you suddenly go blank during a talk. Instead of panicking, pause and take a breath. Then say your anchor line and then continue. Now that's it. It's not dramatic and it's definitely not obvious to your audience. In fact, from your audience's perspective, you look really calm and in control. And to help understand this process, think about it's like learning how to swim. You don't kind of become confident when you're learning how to swim by never putting your head under the water and just doggy paddling above the surface the whole time. You become confident by knowing that even if your head goes under, you can still get up to the surface when your head does go under. You see, confidence does not come from having this magical illusion of a flawless delivery. It actually comes from knowing deep in your soul that if you do get off track, you can recover. And once you trust that you can recover by pausing, breathing, and using your anchor statement, that fear of making a mistake, it loosens its grip and slowly drops away. So we're over halfway on our 5 key steps now. Step number 4, normalize small imperfections. Before you speak, say to yourself, you know what, I might stumble, I might go off track, but I will still be effective. For many of us, that anxiety that we experience when we're speaking in public comes from something really silly. And that really silly thing is unrealistic expectations. Why do we expect that we're going to have perfect words, perfect recall, and perfect flow? Why do we expect our memories to be perfect? It's crazy. That's not human. You know what that is? AI. And people don't connect with perfect speakers. They connect with human speakers. Have you ever watched somebody who was really too polished or AI enhanced? They've got perfect posture, perfect delivery, perfect tone. It feels kind of distant, unrealistic, even fake, right? But when someone shows tiny imperfections and they pause and smile and they have this like, oh, where was I? My tongue's run away with me. Let me grab that and stick it back in. They feel real and relatable. And more importantly, trustworthy, not fake AI. That's why all my YouTube videos are unedited. I practice imperfection all the time because the thing is, on stage and in real life public speaking, there's no pause and edit button. You just have to keep going. So practice recovery from mistakes, and that will be probably the most powerful tool I can share with you. Think about it like a brand new pair of shoes versus a pair of shoes that you've got that are pretty well worn in. Now your brand new shoes, they look really perfect. They're shiny and perfect, and often they're really uncomfortable, right? But those worn-in shoes, they might have a few scuffs. They're not flawless, but damn, they fit better. And they're certainly a lot more comfortable. Public speaking is the same. Perfect looking delivery can feel stiff. A slightly imperfect delivery feels much more natural. So imperfection does not weaken our message. In fact, it can often strengthen it and lift it up. So that's step 4. Now it's time for the final step, proving to yourself that you can handle it. Confidence is not built by positive thinking and saying affirmations in our head. It's actually built by evidence. We prove to ourselves that we can do it. So create evidence for yourself by practicing in a safe environment, like in my live vocal power calls. Intentionally practice recovery. Let yourself lose your place on purpose, and then pause, breathe, anchor. Each successful recovery becomes a new data point in our brains which says, hey, I handled that, yay me. It's like going into a gym. You don't walk into the gym and start lifting the heaviest weight on the first day. You start off lighter and you kind of struggle and you rest and you try and you try and you try again. And each session builds muscle. So each time you practice recovery, you're building evidence that you are stronger than you were before and that you can do this. Speaking confidence grows the same way. Small reps create big belief. And that is real confidence. So those are my 5 favorite steps. Redefine your mistakes as improvisation. Practice recovery, not perfection. Build anchor phrases that you can use in moments of panic. Normalize being imperfect and create proof through practice. My most important message is this. Don't try and eliminate mistakes. Learn to trust yourself to handle them when they happen. So if you've been avoiding speaking because you're scared of messing up, remember this, you're not broken. You're not bad at speaking in public. You just haven't been taught how to recover. And now you know how. But the thing is, knowing and doing are very different things. So don't just watch this and move on. Comment now and tell me which tool you are going to use first to stop fearing mistakes and start feeling more confident when you're speaking in public.